It was almost deja vu as the Scottish Cup final was set for a half 12 kick-off due to another Manchester Derby FA Cup final. But no need to fear, folks. They've decided and they've made the correct decision to actually just play the game at 3 o'clock on May the 25th on the Saturday. And it'll kick off at the same time. Because at the end of the day, why should we be moving the Scottish Cup final for the English Cup final? It shouldn't be happening. Alright, makes no sense. And I don't even think it should matter who's in the final. Obviously, last season you had Inverness against Celtic. This season it's a wee bit bigger with the Old Firm exactly in the final. But it's like, if you're going to watch the Manchester Derby, right, over the Old Firm final, more. I mean, if you're a Scottish football fan and you support a team in Scotland, like even if your team's not in the final, even though a lot of people's teams will be, with Rangers and Celtic in it, you're probably just going to watch the Scottish Cup final anyway. You know what I mean? Like, two derbies. I don't need to explain that the Old Firm's bigger than the Manchester Derby at the end. And you know what, folks? It shouldn't even be Manchester United in that FA Cup. Coventry were robbed. Were absolutely robbed. I mean, the VAR line goes over Wan-Bissaka's foot. I can't even be arsed talking about English FA Cup, but if you actually watch that game at the weekend there, Coventry were screwed, and that is what VAR's done. You know, you hear about, oh yeah, it's almost like led to believe that VAR's just shite. VAR's shite across the board. I mean, that is not a clear and obvious offside, right? And I don't even think it's offside. I actually think, but I mean, if the line's going over Wan-Bissaka's foot, and even that, the blue line's going over his foot, it looks like his foot's even going into the fucking red zone. It's not American football, by the way, but I just don't get it. If you haven't seen that disallowed Coventry goal to make it 4-3, I mean, that is the magic of the cup right there, man. You know, it's a joke. It is an absolute. It is. It's an absolute joke, and you know, we had our own controversial decision with the Alistair Johnston incident. But at least with that one, right, even though, I mean, I think it's a joke they didn't give it, it's like, I can half see why Don Robertson awarded it a free kick. The problem for me is why did he continue to let the ball play? The only team getting an advantage of it was Aberdeen, but if you're giving a foul against Aberdeen, you can't continue to give an advantage, so it makes no sense, man. I think VAR's been brought in to manipulate games. Someone's getting rich out of it. Someone is getting something out of it, and it's a mess. All right, VAR. Honestly, I think it needs to be scrapped because when you're at games or you're watching at home, you almost feel like you can't celebrate. You're like, oh, let's just see this doesn't get disallowed. That sort of talk. Oh, let's just see if there's not a foul in the build up. Let's just see if there's not a yada yada yada. It's fucking embarrassing, man. It really is. It's like when Rangers scored in the Old Firm, was it Dessers, and it was the foul. I believe it was on Bernardo. Can't remember who it was on. And like, is it a foul when you go back with VAR and scrutinise it? Yes, but like, it's like 10 minutes before the goal goes in. It's fouls like that. If the referee doesn't think it's not like that foul gets given, right, and it doesn't get given, sorry, and the guy who picks up the ball for Rangers hits it for 40 yards and it flies into the top corner. You know, time has been played. There's so many instances, man, where these, I mean, for every team in the league, every team across the world that has got VAR, where it's sapping the enjoyment out of the game, man. It fucking is, and well, anyway, this isn't a VAR fit. This is a Scottish Cup final um, video about the kickoff time, which will be 3 o'clock, guys. So yeah, the Scottish Cup final will be standing tall against the Manchester Derby. Now, of course, it will be the first free to few Old Firm since the 2011 League Cup final. I think I've got that correct. So, you know, a decent amount of time, and it's also the first, Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Rangers since 2002. So it's been a long time since it was on free TV. It's been a long time since it was in this competition in the final. Both teams have collided, but here, you know, if you're English, you're going to watch the Manchester Derby. If you're Scottish, you should be watching the Old Firm Derby. It really is that simple, and also from a spectacle point of view, Man City are going to scalp United. All right, so although I would say the way forms went recently, you don't know what Celtic. Celtic might scalp Rangers, but hopefully Rangers scalp Celtic, guys. But until next time, peace.